Hi, thanks for tuning in today, and happy Christmas if you celebrate. It's 25th of December. I'm really looking forward to spending time with family. Got two family things on today, one at my family's house and then at Chris's family's house. So it's going to be a lot of eating, a lot of festive activity, and at least a couple of glasses of champagne. But I wanted to jump in. I did a hike this morning. It was the first hike I've done since Nepal. Definitely didn't feel as fit as I was over there. I think it was the humidity as well. Like, it was nice and overcast today, but far out it was like 90% humidity. Relatively early at 6 o'clock in the morning, but just, very, very hot. I think we're in for more of the same in Brisbane in terms of the humidity, possibly a lot of rain in the next couple of days. But I wanted to just expand on yesterday's episode. So in yesterday's episode, I was talking about the media that I'm doing, more, I guess, in particular, social media platforms. But I wanted to expand on that, maybe just share like two things that I am really focused on in the new year. One that I didn't really talk about yesterday, but has been on my mind, and that is private podcasts. I talk a lot about this, and basically on the hike today, binge listened to 8 or 9 episodes about private podcasts, how they're being used, how other people are using them for marketing, for client delivery and everything else. I've used private podcasts for ages through Hello Audio. I talk about it a lot. Some people don't really understand what a private podcast is. Basically, it's just audio, but to access the audio in Apple Podcasts or Spotify or on your phone, you need a special link. So it's locked down. Now, this is great because clients want to lock down information. If it's stuff that I want to share privately with a client, let's just say I'm working with them on coaching, I can save all the Zoom calls, throw that on a private podcast. When I've done webinars in the past, rather than, I send out the Zoom link so people can watch it back, but it's just easier to grab the audio and listen on the go. And when I've been a part of other people's programs, I've downloaded the MP, put it onto my own private podcast and locked it down to myself. So just the best way to learn. But next year, what I want to do, and not even next year, I'm thinking the next 30 days, I want to create like a mini pod, like a secret series for just some key questions that I get asked. And so that's going to be a mini project, but that'll be on the front page of my website to get on my email list. My lead magnet. So if you don't know what a lead magnet is, it's when someone gives you their email address for information, usually in the form of a PDF or a webinar. But I think this is going to be way better, just having access to like some key questions I get asked. And I think it's around some key questions I get asked, lock it down to a private podcast and really focus on promoting that, like this mini pod. And I can add, different episodes through the year, but it's basically, we'll start off with maybe 3 episodes. So rather than because I haven't really decided what I do with this public podcast, like as in this podcast that you're listening to right now, I'm sure from time to time I'll share some updates, but what I really want to focus on is, getting traffic to the private podcast in the meantime. The second thing is the book, which is going to be out in October. So manuscript due late March, early April. And I actually had a chat to a PR agent this week in terms of promoting that. And what I'm going to commit to, I think, at this stage is working with her for the book launch for 2 months. So prior to the launch, like a 2-month really focused effort on launching the book. But also she has availability around April, May, just try to get some thought leadership around the topic in specific publications. So it's the first time I've actually ever thought about using PR, but my friend Beth Ann Wynn with her book just had really great results, and I was like, hey, tell me who you used for PR. So I had a chat to the PR agent this week, and that's what we're going to go for, which is great. So the good thing about that and preempting it and kind of locking it in early is once I'm writing the book, I can start thinking about various angles and things that I could possibly help pitch to various agencies. I'm just giving this a go because I haven't tried PR before, and I'm really curious to see, is it worth the investment? So that's something that I will reveal back sometime. I don't know, whether on this podcast or on my weekly articles, but just be interesting to see what actually comes out of that. So those are the sort of 2 big things I'm focusing on next year. The first one, the private podcast, I reckon I could lock myself in a room for half a day and get that done. I think I kind of understand what that could be. I think creating it will be easy. It's like thinking of what can I call this? So people are like, I want to, that's a problem I want to solve. Right now, it's a headache problem. So I'm going to give Leanne my email address in exchange for this. Everyone's so much wiser. I know I am. I find it you have to offer something pretty killer for me to give you my email address and know that I'm going to be on your email list, even though I know I can unsubscribe, but yeah, I think we're all getting a bit of fatigue with stuff in our inbox. So it's like, what is going to be so helpful that's going to work. Now, one activity I am doing very quickly before I let you go and celebrate the holidays is I'm going to get a piece of paper, put a column down the center, and on the left-hand side, I'm going to have increase, and on the right-hand side, the header is decrease. And think of the person that I'm targeting and think, okay, what do they want to gain? So what do they want to increase? And what do they want to decrease, avoid, eliminate, get out of their life? And just start practicing that, like just start, brainstorming around that, write out as much as I think, and then really think about what is the highest priority for this person. I think that really gives you pragmatic results in terms of how do you target content. So rather than like, hey, we're going to make 2026 your best year ever, it's like, hey, how could you, and this is not even a real example, but like, how can you run your first 5 kilometers in the first 30 days? Like, something like that, quite tangible. I think something with a number in it might work as well. All right, thanks for listening, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. Have a wonderful Christmas.